All right, you've probably seen the drawing. The Chicago Fire ready to make some big moves. The team's owner, Joe Mansueto, revealed those beautiful plans in black and white to build a new stadium in Chicago's 78 neighborhood. Nearly every sports team in Chicago wants to make a stadium change, but the Fire is the first team to reveal the official plans. Marc Ganis with Sportscorp Limited is here to weigh in on this subject this morning. Marc, thanks for being here, coming in the rain. First of all, what were your thoughts when you heard that the Fire came out with this beautiful square structure? Is this a good move? Is it going to sell?
Yeah, this will sell, and the local politician should grab it before he changes his mind. It's really great for him, meaning that for the Chicago Fire to have their own facility. It's a small facility, 22,000 seats. It's the right size for today.
For soccer, yeah. Mm-hmm.
For today. Mm-hmm. Maybe a decade from now, they might have wished they made it bigger, but for today, it's the right size. Mm-hmm. Great location. It's a place where people can walk to. It's a place where they can get to with mass transit. And the stadium's going to be full every game versus Soldier Field, where the place is empty versus every game.
It doesn't look as good.
Yep.
Now the White Sox were also looking to maybe do something there in the 78. Is this an opportunity lost for the Sox?
No, it's not.
Okay.
They can actually build a White Sox stadium there as well. There's enough land. They'll have to share infrastructure, parking, work out the calendars. It wouldn't be the first time this has been done. In New York, actually, right now, there's a new soccer stadium being built for NYCFC. That's the New York City MLS team. Mm-hmm. And it's being built right across the street from Citi Field, where the Mets play.
Yeah.
Yep. So this kind of complex, absolutely, it can be done. There's enough room on the site for it. It'll limit some of the additional development that Related Midwest has been looking to do there, but it absolutely can be done, and it would be great for the White Sox. Because where they are right now, they basically are in a walled-off area. People can't walk to the games. We know here in Chicago, one of the great advantages to Wrigley Field is people can walk to it. They can take the CTA. It's easy to come in, out.
That whole neighborhood vibe.
It's beautiful. So even when the team really is poor on the field, they still draw over 3 million people because it's a gathering place. The White Sox don't have that. They really need that in order to be successful.
What kind of a political message is this sending to the other owners? Mansueto says, "I'll just write you a check for $650." What about the Sox and the Bears? Trying to deal with politicians. This doesn't look good for them.
Well, it's really interesting. We tend to think that the team owners keep asking for public money to build these stadiums. We actually have the history here in Chicago is different. The United Center, privately built with private money on private land.
A lot of people forgot that. Mm-hmm.
Wrigley Field, all the billion-plus renovations at Wrigley Field, private money, private land. The Bears said they will pay for their own stadium. They said they'll use private money to build the stadium. Now, the reason that was so expensive on the lakefront was because of all of the other costs associated with that site, of the infrastructure with that site, and trying to make it fit the Lakefront Protection Ordinance. Mm-hmm. Whereas all they're asking for in Arlington Heights is basically infrastructure and tax certainty. But they're willing to pay for the stadium themselves. So we actually have a history of the team owners stepping up here. And we should also give Joe Mansueto, his background story, some props here. This is a guy from northern Indiana, moved to Chicago, started a newsletter for the finance industry in his apartment, and is now a multi-billionaire, self-made, and is stepping up to make this investment right here in Chicago.
Real quick, 10 seconds. What happens at Soldier Field if the Fire and the Bears are gone?
They need to really think about what its future is going to be. First thing they need to think about is stop spending a lot of money on that building. Have it for a few concerts every year during the summer, and then use the interior spaces that they built out for the Bears. But stop spending a ton of money. Stop trying to make it something it's not. It's a 100-year-old building. We've gotten a lot of good use out of it already.
Yes, we have.
Move on. It's time to move on.
Marc Ganis, great story there. Let's see what happens here with all of our teams. But we know the Fire's going to have new digs there, $650 million. Marc Ganis with Sportscorp. Up next, we're